Imagine living next to a man who never spoke during the day, but as soon as the clock strikes midnight, his voice fills the silence. At first, it's unsettling. Then, it becomes terrifying. But what I discovered about the man who spoke only at midnight, what he was hiding, what he was trying to do, was far worse than I could ever have imagined. This is not just a story about a strange neighbor. It's a warning. And when I tell you what he did, you'll never look at midnight the same way again. This is a true story, one that's haunted me since that fateful night. But what I didn't know, what I couldn't know, was how deeply this would change me. And how it might just change you too, that I had lived next to him for months before I even realized that something wasn't right. You see, he was a man of few words, or so I thought. He never came outside, and his windows were always shut tight. But one thing stuck with me. No one ever saw him during the day. And when I did hear anything from his house, it was always at midnight. His voice was soft, almost like a whisper, but it was enough to send a chill down my spine. Night after night, the pattern was the same. Silence until the clock struck 12. It was like clockwork. Each night, as the world around me slept, I would hear his voice, low, eerie, sometimes pleading, sometimes begging, but I never could make out the words. They felt distant, like a puzzle that I couldn't quite solve. And yet, every night, the voice grew louder, more desperate. It was one night, one sleepless, nerve-wracking night, that I decided to confront it. I had to know what was going on. What was he saying? Who was he speaking to? So, I waited, and when the clock struck midnight, I gathered the courage to go next door. As I stood on his porch, my heart hammered in my chest. My hand trembled as I reached for the door, half expecting the worst. But I pushed it open, slowly, quietly, not knowing what I would find. And then, I saw it. A circle of strange symbols on the floor, etched into the wood like something out of a nightmare. He stood in the center of it, talking to nothing. At least, that's what I thought. It wasn't just talking. No, what he was doing, what I was witnessing, was far darker. His words weren't meant for anyone in the room. They were meant for something else. Something otherworldly. It was then that I realized. He wasn't speaking to a person. He wasn't even speaking to the air. He was trying to summon something that didn't belong in this world. A force so ancient and powerful, it could only be controlled at midnight. And every night, for weeks, he had been preparing, gathering power to open a door to another realm. And then, it happened. He spoke the words I had feared to hear. The ritual was complete. The door was open. And in that moment, I saw something that no human should ever see. Shadows stretched and twisted in ways that defied logic, swirling around him like a storm. And that's when I realized the truth. He hadn't just been speaking at midnight. He was controlling the clock, manipulating time itself to bring whatever was in that book into this world. That man, my neighbor, had spent months opening a doorway to a world that was never meant to be seen by human eyes. And what he summoned, what he had called forth, was more terrifying than I could ever describe. I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The house, the man, was never the same after that night. And neither was I. This day. I don't know what exactly was unleashed that night. But I do know one thing. Some doors should never be opened. Some things should never be spoken aloud. And as for my neighbor, well, I never saw him again. And I never want to. Sometimes, curiosity isn't just dangerous, it's deadly. Some secrets are buried for a reason, and some rituals should never be disturbed. What happened to me, to that man, is a reminder that not everything is as it seems. We live our lives thinking the worst is behind us, but sometimes the scariest things lie just beyond our door. Stay safe. And remember, there are things in this world that are best left unseen. Until next time, if you've enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more terrifying tales. You never know what's waiting just around the corner. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.